The next session will be the UBA Group Film Finance Forum. It's another money talk, and I'm sure maybe after this one we'll take a break. So the UBA guys are coming on to talk about more money and more about financing. But before then, would have like a short speech from another UBA director. Our next speaker is representing the chairman, United Bank for Africa, Mr. Tony Elumelu, who is unavoidably absent and sent his sincere apologies. But speaking on his behalf is Mr. Muyiwa Akinyemi, who is the Deputy Managing Director of the Union Bank for Africa. He has over 25 years experience in banking industry, spanning from business advisory, financial control, investment banking, corporate banking in Nigeria and across Africa. Can we please make welcome Mr. Muyiwa Akinyemi to give us a short speech? Thank you.
I thought I heard you say Union Bank.
United Bank, sorry.
Okay. So I'm sorry, my name is Muyiwa Akiemi. I work with United Bank for Africa, not Union Bank. And thank you for having me here. Unfortunately, my chairman is not here today, so for any mistake I make on his speech, that's me. But the good things go to him. I heard my colleagues speak a little bit about credit, right? Don't worry, credit guys don't come out. They are meant to be inside. They are the insiders in a business. But not to worry, I think the points you made are quite valid. It requires understanding and putting the right structures in place. Because like my colleague said, when you give out money, you want to make sure, it's not the bank's money, it's depositors' funds actually. So you want to make sure that it comes back. Anyway, so good afternoon, everyone. I would say all protocols duly observed. Unfortunately, Mr. Elumelu is not here today. He's on an international trip, so he's asked me to represent him today at today's session, and I hope I'll do a little bit of justice to what I have to speak about. I'm supposed to be speaking about an issue that is dear to him and our organization as United Bank for Africa in terms of the lifestyle and entertainment business. I won't bore you with definitions about creativity and what it means. I'm sure we have quite a number of creative minds here, and you have a better understanding than I do about creativity. But I would like to talk about empowerment, the next generation of our creative leaders in the industry, especially in the film industry, and how they can scale up the standards. I think we live in an era where there's rapid change today, and innovations are at the forefront. I was sitting there and speaking to my colleagues and telling them that when I was growing up, we used to look forward to watching NTA by 4:30 with those color bars. But these days, on the go, I can watch a movie, right, on my phone. That has changed. A lot of things have changed. And my dear colleague, friend who set up the IMAX studios, you know, we used to have a lot of them then, from Penn Cinema in Agege and the one in Yaba as well. But things have changed. A lot has changed. And there's a need for us to support these creative minds because they solve problems for us. And there's a need to empower them with ideas, structures, and solutions that will enable them scale up. Creativity is at the heart of every successful entrepreneurial venture. It is that spark that brings out new ideas. That's idea generation. We'll call it idea innovation, right? And we see creative people as visionaries. They are those who see things that ordinary minds don't see, okay? And it creates opportunities where others see challenges. But we believe that creativity is not just enough. It must be combined with the knowledge, which is the know-how, and the skills, which is the how-to, as well as resources to scale up. Resources in terms of market access, in terms of financing from the banks and other venture capitalists. Also, the engagements and audience that will turn their ideas into reality and make it bankable. What we have is we have a lot of creative ideas who are unable to live or scale up, and they die at such early levels. But empowering that generation of creative entrepreneurs means providing them with access to programs that transforms their creative thinking into bankable and sustainable businesses. It means creating an ecosystem of mentorship and networking opportunities like we're here doing here today that will lead to their successful transformation of those entities with brilliant ideas, and they can take that leap into that level of scale of entrepreneurship to have access to the right markets, putting in place the right governance, and also the financial solutions to support them. That's why for us at United Bank for Africa, we pride ourselves as Africa's global bank. In 2015, we set up what we call Red TV. I think we've invested over ₦1 billion into that. We have done movies, well, let me put it that way, in terms of various activities, over 60 million views on that. We have over 330,000 subscribers on Red TV alone. And in 2017, we set up Red Radio, which has also helped with the development of the access in that space. These investments have been catalysts for growth. It's a platform that we've made available for entrepreneurs, creative minds, to launch themselves into the market. Not only is it being viewed in Nigeria, but globally. Today, UBA is present in 20 African countries, 4 continents, like we're saying. And the platform that we provide allows these entrepreneurs to be able to project their ideas and their creative developments into the market. So it's not just about the giving the loan or the financing, but creating that market access to those entrepreneurs has helped to build those businesses and those African talents across the various fields, call it music, fashion. And we continue to do that by providing that platform for filmmakers and designers to reach wider audiences across the globe. Now, scaling up standards for us means setting standards, international standards, not mediocrity. I remember when we were younger, the type of movies we used to watch then used to have a lot of things, but these days there's been a lot of development that makes it a little bit, the make-believe a lot better, right? The experience a lot better. It's no longer 2D, it's now 3D films. I mean, we go into what 3D films and have the full experience of a proper studio or movie when we go in them. But it also means a culture of continuous improvement and innovation with those entrepreneurs. It means setting high standards, benchmarks, international benchmarks in terms of quality and in terms of business structures as well that will create sustainable business for these entrepreneurs. But as we emphasize creative entrepreneurship, we also need to speak about the ethical standards that they must maintain as well, and corporate governance that they must put in place. So that it's not just a one-man business, it's a business that is built to last, a business that will succeed generations. I think just a couple of months ago, Walt Disney celebrated 100 years. That's the type of business that we would like to see our African entrepreneurs grow into. As you know, our chairman is a founder of what we call Africapitalism, which is investing in African entrepreneurs, which is no wonder why our name resonates what we do. We are United Bank for Africa. So in all our geographies, 24 geographies across the 4 continents, everything that we do focuses on Africa and developing talents and entrepreneurs across Africa. Now, in driving this, I'm sure Mr. Babatini and my colleagues spoke earlier about a few things that we do, but we try to set these entrepreneurs up, starting from the little things, the business registration that we offer to them across our geographies, learning sessions, mentorship sessions as well, capacity development sessions as well. So it's not just lending, you're lending to be able to recover and to enable that they are able to repay your loan. So we're not just waiting for the credit guys to come and kill the credit. We build capacities with these entities until they get to that level of maturity where they can borrow money. At the early stage, why we don't provide early stage financing, because the high risk early stage financing that's required at those stages. We provide the next level of financing that enables them to scale up into the various markets. And beyond that, at each of my countries or each of my operations, we are willing and able, and a number of times we do have sessions to create that market access for them, the platforms for them. So you want to launch a movie, we can always organize and work with you. And we've done that with quite a number of entities as well, especially using our Red TV platform to do that. And we'll continue to do that. So as I conclude my submission, we are keen to empower the next generation of creative entrepreneurs to scale up their standards. It is not just a function of economic interest for us. It's about who we are, impacting lives in every of the societies that we are. And we believe clearly that lifestyle business is a big business for us. It's a big business. And the more we can help develop that lifestyle business, the better it will be for us as a bank. So I would like to encourage and inspire those future minds, those creative minds, who will shape our world in very remarkable ways. That in 100 years' time, 200 years' time, we'll see those entities that have been built to last, being African entrepreneurs, owned by Africans, propagated across Africa and to the world. Thank you and have a good afternoon.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that speech. There'll be a panel session next. This panel will be moderated by Ijoma Ona. This panel is on the importance of insurance and financial management for film professionals. I was supposed to have you here again, but I don't know if I'm so. Okay, so you're not coming again. The speakers are Muyiwa Akinyemi. Oh, sorry, you're not there. That's you. Babatunde Ajayi, Head SME, United Bank for Africa Group. Can we please give him a round of applause? Thank you. Benga Oshibado, the Regional Head, West as Insurance Group as well. Please, can you come forward? Thank you. And moderated by Ijoma Ona herself. He's the lapo. Okay. And then there's Femi Bamigbeton. Did I get that? So is he here? Is Femi here? What? All right. So he's the creative director and head of production for Red TV. Thank you. So over to you, ma'am.
All right. Thank you very much. It's good to, so this is a focus session by the United UBA group, and I think it's because of the interest, like Muyiwa said earlier, on who they are, and it's extremely important for us to hear from them in terms of the interest for the industry, and of course, clearly we know Red TV. Red TV has supported the film industry hugely, and it's amazing to hear that over $1 billion has been put into Red TV by the bank. And it will be interesting to actually understand the connection between banking and also having that platform as Red TV. I'm sure you'll be able to tell us a lot more on that later. But I mean, gentlemen, thank you for coming. It's Babatunde, good to have you again. Yes, I know that we've set a very good tone for what we're going to talk about here. But we just go straight, and I just want to talk. I want you to talk about insurance for our industry. Like, you know, it's not a product, it's not something that is well accepted. It will be good for you to just help us set that foundation, educate everyone here on why the film industry in Nigeria needs to pay attention to insurance.
Okay, thank you very much. So for the industry, I think the most important thing to you guys is your talents, that is your people and your assets. And you need to be able to protect them in order to grow. So let me give you an example. Your assets that you use for your films and the rest of it. Imagine after getting a grant or a loan or whatever it is, and then something happens to those things accidentally, your equipment. What happens? You are starting all over again. You are going to look for grants. Now you are even owing people money, right? So I think for a token of whatever the cost of your asset, whatever the cost of your equipment is, you can get some kind of insurance to ensure that if these things do happen, right, it will be taken care of by the insurance company. So you're just transferring your risk, and it's at a very negligible cost, right? So that's for the assets. Then for the people, You have a lot of talents in the industry, and then we keep hearing a lot of things every day about going for GoFundMe for this guy that is ill, for this guy that is this, And sometimes to me it's a bit embarrassing because you guys have an association that could have just protected yourself by doing a group policy that you ensure that if anything happens to anybody, first of all, if it is, say, an illness that is critical, it can be looked after because we're all a sickness away from bankruptcy, right? So if these things happen, we should be ready for them as an association to support our people to ensure that they don't go begging for money, or that if, for example, if they die, their families do not suffer. So in a nutshell, I think your people and your assets should be well protected, and then the industry will definitely grow. When you're not losing talents when they're young, or you're losing talents that are a bit elderly but are still training the young ones, and you're losing them, then the industry is not going to grow. Thank you.
All right. Just before I leave you, have you got any products that are specifically tailored for the film industry professionals?
Okay, so there's something called a group life package for the industry people, where you choose a sum assured. You say, for example, if anything happens to anybody, we're going to pay you 5 million for that, and then you pay us a token. When I mean the token is really low.
We need to know what that token is.
So when I say if something happens to somebody and they pay 5 million, you're probably paying in the range of maximum for that person 30,000-40,000 per annum. Per annum.
Really?
So when I say it's really negligible, I wonder why people don't do it.
Yeah.
Right? So for the assets, for example, you can do asset insurance, which is all risk. And a lot of you, I'm sure you use a lot of movable items. So you need to do all risk. It might be that when you're traveling from one set to the other, your equipment damages. I'm sure it happens. I'm not familiar with the film industry, but I'm sure things like this happen. So it's good to protect them. And these monies, so for example, if you have an equipment worth 5 million, you're probably paying about 1% of that for insurance per annum. And you can be allowed to spread the payment over, say, 3-4 months. So there are things that you people should come together as an industry, look at it, and come as a group. It's even cheaper when you come as a group, so that you can support each other instead of contributing for each other. Yeah. Thank you.
I think this is very interesting because, like you rightly said, we've seen people coming up with different health issues, and there is money issues as well. So it's a very critical conversation that needs to happen, and I think I want to commend the UBA group for seeing this as a platform to actually educate people, because for 30K a year, 40K a year, I'm sure a lot of people in this room are not aware that such things exist, and that's where the power of information comes in. So as much as possible, it would be good to just keep building capacity on insurance and the role it plays and how it can actually help filmmakers. Because like you rightly said, recently I was executive producer on a project, and I was far away in Toronto for Toronto International Film Festival, and then the producer calls me, she's crying, and she said, "Oh, they just blew my lights. It's 10 million naira. They just blew my lights. What am I going to do?" It was terrible. And so it's now beginning to make sense what you're saying, right? That because these equipments are not cheap. I'm just talking about lights, just lights alone on a set. And she said she paid, she bought it, that this is her 10 million that is gone. And, since then, trying to fix it and so on. And so, yeah, that's a huge, risk factor that we face if we do not pay attention to insurance. And I'm sure you'll be able to also tell us a couple more things before the end of this. Now, Mr. Babatunde, I just want you to talk about, financial management. I know, as head of SME, you've not actually done so much in our industry, but it's also extremely important that we keep building capacity. That's the whole essence of what we're doing here, to build capacity. Let us understand the breakdown financial management for creatives. Because like Promise said in the previous session, people do not understand, oh, I need a business plan. You see what I mean? There are a lot of things that you need to put into separation. Okay, this is my personal account. My personal account is different from my company account. My company is an entity that is different from, myself as a producer or whatever that I'm doing in that ecosystem. So please, can you just help us, educate us a lot more on that? Because I think that's extremely important.
Thank you very much. Financial management is the process of planning, organizing, and controlling your financial assets within your firm. And it doesn't matter the level. If you don't learn it when you're starting, it will affect you. It will truncate your growth, and you find it difficult to even get people to be interested in your business. Because at a point, you can grow a business to the point that you can get people to be interested to buy shares there. If you don't learn how to plan it properly from the outset, you'll have a problem. And one key thing also in your financial management is that you must plan your banker very well. It's very, very important if you're going to succeed. People just, in choosing a bank, some people the due diligence is not there. They're just looking for a bank to drop their money or to withdraw from. It takes much more than that. You're on a journey, and you should always have the end in mind. Therefore, that means a lot. And it's good for you to seek advice, financial advice from the beginning, so that you'll be able to walk that path. Because there's no way they said if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, you have to you should be in a company. And banks or your financial partner or your banker is a good company to have for you to progress. In having a banker in seeking for financial advice, that will help you to be able to know, how do I ensure that I create structure from the beginning?
I see.
And I know one of the panelists mentioned so much about that. You must be able to separate your personal purse from the company's purse. If you don't separate that, anybody can call you from the village. We are still in Africa. This is not Europe, where people know that you carry your own cross, I carry mine. I have text messages of people calling me for people I don't even know from Adam. People just, do you understand? If you don't have that discipline of entrepreneurship, that's what they call it. That's what it's called. You must be disciplined. It's not because you don't have money. That money doesn't belong to you. It belongs to your business. The part that you have paid to yourself as salary, you've exhausted it. We'll wait till next month. That's how to grow. You must learn that from the beginning. And when you do such, it will show in your account. When I look at your bank statement, it will show most of the transactions I will see there. You will see that they are really value-adding transactions to your business. That brings me to the point that you also need to open your account. The best way to be able to walk that talk of what do you call it now? You want to be disciplined financially is to register your business. Have a registered business. As a business person, have a registered business. We have a platform where we register businesses. We do limited liabilities and we do enterprises at very, very reduced price, because we're able to use our clout as a bank to negotiate with groups of solicitors. It doesn't just come with only registration, you getting all your documents. You also open the account without paying for search. There's a search fee when you want to open an account. Even with your TIN, you want to get your tax identification number, it comes with that. You need to have that. Therefore, that your business must have a life of its own, and you have a life of your own. That's how to be disciplined. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This is very, very insightful. Femi, Red TV has been around, and like I said, already done extensively. And you just help us what are the next plans? What's the next phase for Red TV, for this our industry? Maybe just touch about how you've supported. A lot of people don't know. I know a bit, but it may be good to just highlight that first, and then you tell us about what you're also doing currently.
Okay, so thank you, Joma. Thank you also to the rest of the panelists. Red TV has been around for a bit. We're so grateful to UBA in trying to support the creative industry. So they set up Red TV. They wanted to create they wanted to give back to the industry. Our chairman, Tony Elumelu, is a very fun-loving person. He likes entrepreneurship. And of course, the board of UBA, also being an African bank, were looking for an opportunity to support the creative industry. So we set up a platform called Red TV, which is very interesting. The aim of Red TV was to do something more like what Victor, had mentioned before, which is try to change the narrative about Africa. We want to tell positive stories about Africa, and we want Africans to tell their stories. I mean, you've heard this many times where if you don't tell your story, somebody else will. Basically, that's what Red TV is trying to do in our own little way, because, I mean, we are doing something a bit small in our own way, I mean, compared to other platforms, out there. But we're particularly concerned about stories in Africa. So we went out and we set out to create so many kinds of content: film, shows, talk shows, reality shows. We have reality shows on Red TV as well. Not Big Brother type, but our own kind of reality shows. And the aim, again, like I said, is to try and show a positive light to how Africa should be seen globally. Because you see so many content. I mean, I was speaking to the chairman initially, and he said, there's so many stories about Africa that's so not good to see. We see African children being shown in such bad lights. We see entrepreneurs in Africa being shown in such bad lights. We needed to tell stories, entertaining stories about Africa that people can enjoy, and, it can really show a positive side to Africa as well. And so UBA decided to invest in Red TV. And of course, the Red TV platform exists. There's an online platform for Red TV. We're primarily on YouTube. We leveraged YouTube once it came out. And of course, we also had other investments we've done through the Red TV initiative, which I'm sure Ijoma would know. We've also invested in films, popular films you've probably seen today that you would not even know Red TV was part of. We've invested in quite a lot of films. We've also made our own films. I've been fortunate to even direct one of the films that we've had, which has well over 2 million views organically on its own on YouTube, which is doing very well. So we've been good at trying to build the industry. We're concerned. And I was so glad that when Red TV was about to start, they hired someone like me who's also a filmmaker, who's interested in film. That's to tell you the depth of how, UBA sees and takes this very seriously. They want someone who knows the industry to contribute to the industry and to look at the whole picture of how they can grow the industry together. And I think it's important that Red TV, to state the facts of what Red TV has achieved so far, Red TV is employed in its own little way over 3,000 creatives.
Wow.
Yeah, we're talking of cast, we're talking of crew, we've empowered people, we've paid salaries, we've invested. Most people don't know about this. It looks so small, but it's actually very mighty. Let's even not talk about Red TV events. We have quite a lot of Red TV events, from the Red TV Rave to all the launch programs we do for any of our programs. And also we partner with platforms like Film One when they want to launch content for creatives as well. We invest heavily in trying to grow the industry. Hoping, like I said, the chairman wants to grow Africa, so we're hoping that it will return back as investments, as business that will grow the whole industry as a whole. So, of course, we've invested over ₦1 billion, like she said, on Red TV in terms of, paying cast, crew fees, doing promotions and marketing. We spend quite a lot. One of our most popular shows, the Men's Club. Have anybody heard about Men's Club here? Show of hands. We have a lot of shows on Red TV that are very entertaining. We are specific to creating content that we believe people want to see. If you notice the difference between Red TV and a lot of other competitors who are on this space, is we are not producing content every day. And it's not because we do not believe we should create content every day, but because we are very focused on the content that we believe will make impact. Again, our core focus is to try and tell true, authentic African stories. So we look at content that would make impact on our platform, and we create those kinds of content. So looking forward, what we try to do now is to keep investing in Africa. We're investing in films or content, and Red TV is probably one of the only content platforms, amongst the peers that also has content in other languages. We have content in French that are on our platform. If you haven't seen, we have content made from Ghana, we have content made from East Africa, we have content made from different platforms or around Africa in trying to stay true to the African narrative in telling the African story. So going forward, we plan to do more of that. I plan to see hopefully Swahili content. I plan to see, there was a gentleman who said something about content from Kano, probably a content from Hausa, an Hausa-speaking language. We want to see more of that. We want to see our indigenous language and our culture, grow across Africa. We want to see, people, filmmakers and creatives come up with ideas that will tell very innovative stories that can sell the African narrative. So we would invest more in terms of making content in Africa. We also empower people, in training. We do that with training. We have an ambassador program we've been running with students in schools to try and encourage them in filmmaking. We speak quite often in schools in trying to do that as well. We also help invest in small filmmakers. When they come to us, we give them money in terms of, trying to make their own content. We help in innovation and technology. We're creating a platform for people to come and tell their stories. So there's quite a lot we plan to do going forward. But I'm sure there's a lot we're doing right now that people just need to go around to see and research about. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think it's very interesting to see, to listen to how you've helped and impacted 3,000 creatives, paying, and, that's a lot. But my question is, beyond production, and this is not just Red TV, maybe from a higher level banking strategy, perspective, do you think there's an interest in opening up distribution channels as well and investing in maybe a digital platform, like launching your own SVOD service, subscription video on demand service that, because that's what we were talking about in the previous panel, because you sit in a good place, you have the content, you have the strong support system from the bank, so would you also look at helping to, develop not just the content creation side, but also the distribution and the monetization side, having your own platform where young filmmakers can actually put money, like your own YouTube, for example. So YouTube, a lot of people are making money. So and that's distribution, right? That's monetization. So what is the plan? Are you looking towards that direction of having your own digital service that people can actually get money on?
So for Red TV, we are not trying to be a full SVOD platform. And I say this because running an SVOD platform is expensive. For those of you that don't know, it's pretty expensive. There are 3 core things you need to run a very good, well-equipped SVOD platform. The first is you need good content. The story, whatever it is you're going to come to, whatever it is you're going to sell has to be good. The second thing is you need the technology. If you see Netflix has a sweet technology that if you log into your Netflix, it's different from what content you see is different from what somebody else sees. It's more tailored and catered to what you want. The third thing you need is you need to market that platform. Now that marketing part is a huge chunk of money. It costs a lot of money. Right now, I used to work at MultiChoice, fun fact, years ago, DSTV, and my job was to manage digital assets for all the MultiChoice space content for the whole of West Africa. And my budget for a year, for digital across Africa, my team was over $1 million. That's a small amount of money to what Netflix and Amazon is spending today when it comes to marketing. So if you're going to create an SVOD platform, you're going to try and, leverage a platform to make money, then you must be ready to understand that the business is not cheap. So I would say what we are trying to do is, we know money is not easy to get, and, banking, for UBA, banking is their core. This is not creating a platform on Red TV is not really their core.
Absolutely.
So they definitely will look at it and say, okay, while it's a good idea, they would have to look at, are we going to make money? Because our strategy originally has never been to make money returns. Our strategy
actually, I was talking about helping people to make money.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so for anybody who's coming to do this, who wants to create these platforms,
yes,
we definitely, UBA can, of course, through the value proposition mentioned by Mr. Batunde, in terms of looking at your pitch, you're bringing your ideas, your business formula, and how you want to create these things. you can't. But like I've said, these are the three core things that I would look at if, you know, and Mr. Battle will look at in terms of trying to create that kind of platform. It's not cheap. So if you come to us with a proposal of like, let's say $20 million to create the next big Netflix, I'll probably say you are not ready.
No, actually, I was actually talking about the bank itself. Like, you know, the bank is in a good place to, because you've invested in content already, right? But taking it a step further to say, okay, we can actually have this platform where, you know, those who have content, not just Red TV content, can have an opportunity to monetize. So at the end of the day, it's a win-win for everybody. The people, the industry is because we don't have that. And I'm just saying that you are in a good place. I don't know if it's part of the strategy for the bank. I mean,
You're looking like
yeah.
you're looking at like a content marketplace.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Exactly. That's it.
Yeah, so like a content marketplace, like
That's not
SME
limited.
marketplace.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's not limited to your content, but
Yeah.
opening it up because
Yeah.
you can do the marketing, you can do the promotion, and of course, people can come in there and they make money. I think that the banks, from a strategy perspective, may want to look at that.
I mean, that's a good idea, and I think maybe me and Mr. Batude can look at that. We have been having conversations, but I think it's just the cost has to be right. I tell people something. There is no content that is, you know, not profitable. Every content is profitable. You just have to make the value proposition to be right. You have to get it right. So in terms of this platform as well, you have to make the value proposition right because it has to make money so it can continue to
Make
run.
money for everybody.
Yes, basically.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. I see Bawanta taking notes. So this will be a very good outcome to say that, yes, we had this and we've identified that there is a gap in distribution. The more distribution opportunities, you can even call it marketplace, right, that we have where people can actually earn money, I think that will really, really help in the growth of the industry. Bawanta, you want to also add to other things that you believe from a banking perspective that will actually help to drive growth in this industry?
You know, when you mentioned that marketplace,
Yes.
it reminded me of my experience in my former life also. I was part of the team that produced the first marketplace done by a bank in the industry, not just in Nigeria, but all over Africa. And we conceptualized it and brought it to fruition. It's on its own now, running well. And he was like, that light just came up. I think we need to look at. Yes. I think we need to look at it. And, you know, they've talked about startups.
Yes.
They should be able to have a platform to lean on. And that is local. I think it's something we need to look at very well. But top in my own agenda is we need to find a solution around IP. You know, when you just have silos of people giving you value for your IP,
Yes.
it's not effective.
Exactly.
You must have a standard.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Absolutely.
You must have a standard such that when you go to this place, the same value that is assigned to that your IP is the same. And I think as industry players, it's something that we need to urgently do.
I agree.
We need to urgently do.
Absolutely.
And I believe this platform is a very good platform to be able to initiate that.
Thank you.
And execute, please.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Last words from you in terms of wellness and how we have to pay, why we should actually pay attention. What, in terms of strategy for the film industry, do you have any, like you said, you're not really into this industry, but there's always a starting point. How would you also want to support the industry so that, you know, it becomes also a win-win? That, you know, we're not just coming to buy products of you, but this is also what you think that can be beneficial to the industry.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So, like I said, I don't know much about your industry, but I know that the Health Insurance Group also supports storytelling. I think we did something on storytelling. My colleague there can confirm. And it's owned by Tony Elumelu too, so it's almost the same thing. But in terms of wellness, which you asked, in our group or slightly outside our group, we also do HMO. That I think your association should actually key into. because healthcare is not cheap. And like I said, we're all a sickness away from bankruptcy. You might just think you'll find out you have 50 million naira in your account, something happens today, and the money starts going, and it's a problem. The first day I heard that statement, I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it, and I realized it's true. So, apart from what we do in terms of helping, I know we did something to writers as well, but I'm not too vast on it. She over there knows a lot of things that we've done for it, but it's all Tony's initiative as well. But you can also take up our HMO. Parting shots is that we a lot of us. So I spoke about protecting your assets during work, but a lot of us forget the home front, right? If the home front is well protected, you will focus more on your business. So, for example, I got home one night, one of those Friday nights when you go out and Madam was not at home, and nobody was at home. So I put noodles, and that was the fastest thing I could eat about 1 a.m. And I woke up at 4 a.m. in the morning, and the whole kitchen was fire. It wasn't burning, but the egg had turned to stone, and the whole thing, and the whole ceiling was dark. If I hadn't woken up at that time, that house would have burnt, right? And I know how much I bought the house. So instead of paying 100,000 naira for insurance for the year, I will have lost hundreds of millions, right? And I'll have been there and I'll have regretted it. That night, I'm an insurance person, but I also don't like paying for insurance, right? But I know it can hurt me, right? So parting shots, little things like your car. I'm not saying you should insure everything, like your car, your house. When you know that one Okada man will just come and break your light, and really and truly break your light is 400, 500,000 naira. You can't do anything to him. Carry his bike. Where is he going to get the money from? So you, out of the little that you have and the school fees that you are paying, you now go and remove 500,000 naira for one Okada man's carelessness. I just advise all of us to protect our assets both at home and at work. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I don't know, are we supposed to take questions? Because of time. Okay, so they are here. There's a whole team from the group, from UBA, from Red TV, from HES, from the insurance. Please, as much as possible, engage everyone. I want to thank you. Thank you so much. It's been great talking to you all. And I hope that we'll continue to network and continue the conversation after. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much. Please, can the panel be given a round of applause? Yeah, as they take the photograph, once again, we'd like to say a big thank you to Mr. Babatunde Ajayi, Mr. Benga Oshibadu, and Mr. Femi Bami Beton.